show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a January transfer move to Arsenal.
TV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a January transfer move to Arsenal. We are back for another edition. I want to say Happy New Year going out to each and every one of you, and hope you had a good time and didn't overdo it last night. And welcome along. It's January. It's that time of year again. And what is going to happen this January transfer window is going to be very, very intriguing. Just before we get into that, this show is brought to you today by William Hill's Final One Stand-In, the free-to-play game. Don't forget, right, there are new games starting each and every week over the Christmas period. People have won a lot of money. 7 people shared the £500,000 jackpot, which was available right at the start of the season. Each one of them winning £71,428.57 each. Oh my days, right? That's absolutely unbelievable. Now, if you want to play, the way the game works is that you have to pick a team to win each week. If the team wins, you go through to the next round. If they draw or lose, you go out. It's free to play. There's a link in the description. The game this week, you've got to get your pick in before the game starts, the first game, which is the 12:30 kickoff on Saturday. More details are in the description. You've got to be over 18, based in the UK or Ireland only, and T's and C's, of course, apply. Please gamble responsibly. Now, as I said, it's the January transfer window, and normally in the January transfer window, we're scrambling around thinking we need this player, that player. Arsenal, we got to get loads of players in. We're in a real mess right here. And, you know, it's a crazy window for us. Even though I remember last January, we didn't buy anybody. And I think that really cost us any chance of, doing anything in the league. This year, it's a completely different situation. As a matter of fact, I cannot ever remember a January transfer window where we're going into it and we're wondering, do we even need to sign anybody? Normally, we've got a list of about 5 names that we think Arsenal should try and get. Do Arsenal need to sign anybody? That is the question right now. Everything's going well at the moment. We're top of the league in the Premier League. We're top of the Champions League. And we're into the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup. So do Arsenal actually need to sign anybody? That is the big question in this January transfer window. Because, as I said, normally we're desperate for signings. However, what we do need to remember is so far this season, we've had a lot of injuries. Now, our excellent squad that we built in the summer, which we spent over £250 million acquiring 8 players, has really, really helped us and has helped us to still be at the top despite horrendous injuries this, start of the season. But can we rely on that in the second half of the season, the business end, when games start to come thick and fast? We have a really grueling schedule. I mean, in January alone, 9 games. Champions League games, Carabao Cup games, FA Cup games, and loads of Premier League games coming back to back. So that's a grueling schedule for any squad to cope with. So do Arsenal need to go and get anybody in this January transfer window? Now, Mikel Arteta was asked about this in his press conference before the Brighton game, and he said, yes, we're actively looking in the transfer market. We are looking. And he said that Andrea Berta is looking. And we've seen Andrea Berta pull off lots of surprises in the summer. I mean, Noni Madueke, no one expected that. No one expected Norgard, Piero Hincapia. He pulled off the signing of Gyökeres. Will he go into the January transfer market and will he make any signings? You cannot discount it. And as I said, Mikel Arteta has already said they are actively looking in the January transfer window. So where are they looking? What positions are they looking to fill? Are they just looking at prospects that can come in and do a great job, or are they actively looking to make a big move to strengthen the squad, to push it on to try and win this Premier League. We know that Manchester City are going to be making a move. Looks like they're going to be bringing in Antoine Semenyo. Should we have tried to have got Semenyo? That's also a question. But who are Arsenal going to try and get? Now, let me give you some names that we've already been linked with very strongly in this January transfer window. The first one is Kenan Yildiz of Juventus, a really, really top young prospect. We were linked with him heavily in the summer, 20 years of age, Turkish international, has started the season well for Juventus, and there are numerous publications saying that Arsenal are interested in signing the left winger. He's very skillful, he scored goals, 6 goals already so far this season in 16 appearances for Juventus, 4 assists, and he's getting better and better and better. Got a long-term contract with Juventus. They don't want to sell him. It would be very expensive to get done this January transfer window, probably looking at around about £70 million. But we've seen already with Andrea Berta, don't discount anything. Really would be a good signing. We know on that left wing, although Trossard has been, I think, excellent so far, this season. Martinelli's come in, he's done a really good job. So do we need to get someone in on that left wing? We didn't go for Semenyo, but could it be a Yildiz? One that's going to be one to watch this January transfer window. There are also a lot of sort of young prospects that Arsenal are looking at. One of them is this guy, David Batasagi. He plays for AC Milan. He's a left back. Now, that's a position that you'd think we're stacked in. You know, Ricardo Calafiori, Piero Encapia's come in, can play in that left-back position. We've also, of course, got Mars Lewis Skelly. So you're thinking, why would we go and get another left-back? Well, number one, top prospect. Number two, we've had injuries in that position. And this guy has been a player that has been highly scouted by Arsenal. That's been confirmed by numerous sources. Andrea Berta has been scouting him extensively. He's been compared and talked about as the new Paolo Maldini, because he can play left back, can also play right across the defensive positions. And we know that Arsenal and Mikel Arteta likes a defender. We valued at around about £20 million, 2 goals in 11 appearances this season. Another player that Arsenal are looking at. Also, this guy, Jean Matteo Behoya of Eintracht Frankfurt over there in Germany. Now, he's a French player, plays again on the left wing, valued at around about £25 million, 3 goals and 1 assist this season. Now, the journalist, who can be quite reliable, Florian Plettenberg over there in Germany, he claims that Arsenal have a concrete interest in the player. Lots of other clubs interested in him as well, but one to watch this January transfer window. We know that Eintracht Frankfurt, even though he's valued at around about sort of money, we know that they're one of the best clubs when it comes to buying in players and then selling them on for big, big money. This could be another one of them, one to watch out for. Jean Matteo Behoya. Rodrigo Mendoza is another player that has been heavily linked with Arsenal. Plays for Elche over there in Spain. He's a central midfielder, valued at around about £10 million. 1 goal this season in 12 appearances. And again, another player that has a fairly long contract. He's contracted until June 2028. But again, considered a real top prospect, can play in that central midfield area. We've got injuries with Declan Rice at the moment. Could this be a guy that could come in as a backup? Still only 20 though. So, wouldn't look like an immediate sort of player that could come in and cover that position. But again, another player that's been talked about this January transfer window for Arsenal. Now, what about Mark Gahey? You'd say to yourself, well, where would he play? Gabriel, Saliba, Piero Hincapié. You've got Mosquera in there now as well. But I've heard this rumour a few times. I remember Marty, who comes on the channel, AFTV, he's got a source. That source was the one that said to me, Marty told me this, even before it happened, that Arsenal were 100% going to move for Eberici Eze. That was when a lot of people were saying he's going to Tottenham. Marty was saying to me, no, he's coming to Arsenal, and he was right. He's given me this one as well. He said, Robbie, Arsenal interested in Mark Gahey. Serious interest. We know that Mark Gahey of Crystal Palace, centre-back, 25 years of age, has been excellent so far this season for Palace and excellent for them last season when they went on to win the FA Cup. 2 goals, 3 assists, been a real rock at the back for them. Contract up in the summer. Now, Crystal Palace want to cash in on him. Mark Gahey is rumoured that he preferred to just stay till the end of the season where he can walk away for a free and go to the club of his choice. Liverpool interested in him. Real Madrid, we know this is their speciality, getting these type of players on a free. But Palace, desperate to sell him. It seems weird, but they are desperate to sell him this January transfer window because they would rather get some money in for him right now than he walks away on a free come the end of the season. So could Arsenal make a move for Mark Gahey? And would Mark Gahey want to come to... It seems a weird one to me because this is a World Cup year. Mark Gahey is in the England squad. He wants to go to that World Cup. If he comes to Arsenal and Saliba or Gabriel are fit, he's behind them too. I don't care how good he is, he's going to be behind them too. If he goes to Liverpool, he might be behind those two, although the way, Van Dijk and Konate have been playing, he might be straight in. It serves his interest to just keep playing and staying at Palace, but do Palace want to cash in on him? This is one to watch. I feel probably unlikely that we'll get Mark Gahey, but Marty's in my ears and saying, Robbie, we are seriously interested in him. So let's see what happens with this one. Mark Gahey being linked with a move to Arsenal. And finally, Ethan Nwaneri, not in the squad at all for the game against Aston Villa. Hardly figured this season, only 6 appearances in all competitions for Arsenal, the 18-year-olds. And there are lots and lots of rumours that Arsenal might allow him to go out on loan this January transfer window. Might not be a bad thing if he's not getting any game time. Want to get your thoughts on it. He's been heavily linked with a loan move to Brentford. I heard that one about 6 weeks ago. He's also been linked recently with a loan move to Bournemouth. There'll be a lot of teams out there interested in taking him on loan. A loan may not be a bad thing. He's 18, he's not getting game time, but we all know he's an outstanding player. Could Arsenal do a William Saliba type move here, send him out on loan, get him right up to speed, then bring him back? And then, they got him signed up, in the summer on a long-term contract, right until, 2030. So, they have him locked down. But could Ethan Nwaneri be going out on loan this January? I really want to get your thoughts on it as well. Should Ethan Nwaneri be going out on loan, or should Arsenal be keeping him? Remember, as I said, lots of games coming up. FA Cup, League Cup, 2 legs. Champions League, Premier League, and Arsenal have been getting lots of injuries this season. And even though he's got Odegaard and Eze in front of him, is it wise to send him out on loan? Would love to hear from you guys. So listen, those are some of the names being talked about today. We're going to be here with you each and every day right until the end of the January transfer window. It is going to be interesting. As I said, Arsenal active in the market, is according to Mikel Arteta, but for the first time in a long time, do we actually need anybody? That is what comes from being organised in the summer. January transfer window should really only be for emergencies if you've got injuries, etc. But with Arsenal pushing to try and win this league this year, would it be wise to go out there and strengthen a bit, cover off any chances of suffering due to injuries? Remember last January, that is what cost us. So what will Arsenal do? Thanks for watching the show today. We'll be back tomorrow. And don't forget, it's get your team in for Final One standing. You've got to get it in before 12:30 on Saturday to enter. The link is in the description. Thanks. I'll see you tomorrow.